At some point, again, on your exhale, let your hands drop down, eyelids lift, and then as you breathe in, arms overhead. And reaching your hands down to the floor. Take your left foot back again. Once again, you let your knee come down. Left hand stays grounded, right arm reaching forward, take that twist. Take your back knee off the floor. And then your right hand comes around. Ground your back heel, left hand coming up, warrior two. Straightening your your right leg and just reach from your pressing toes into the floor, reaching your hands up and away. Bend your right elbow, get a little extra stretch in your right side. And then bending your right knee, take your right elbow down for side angle. You can take your arm up and behind for a little opening in your left upper chest. And then keep your left hand coming down, both hands to the inside, knee back to the floor. Staying here, or your forearms to the floor, or to a block at some height. Again, you're just trying to be in a place where it's possible for you to relax and let go. Relaxing your head down. Being gentle with yourself in this gentle yoga class. If you are not up on your hands, come up onto your hands. And we're just going to take this knee that's behind and tuck it to the outside of your front ankle. So coming forward and letting it rest on the outside there. Coming down, trying to get both sit bones as even on the floor as you can. And we're going to take a twist here. So I like to start with my arms overhead and using just my core muscles to twist myself around as much as I can, or as much as I should for my body today. And then I'm going to reach my right hand back, pull my shoulder blade in toward my spine, and place my right hand behind. So the right upper chest is really nice and open. Once again, using my core muscles and my right hand, I'll twist around a little bit. And then I can use my left hand to bring my right knee in a little closer. Some people like to have your elbow on the outside, whatever works for you without losing the slight arch in your low back inward, curving inward. So maybe you're looking over your right shoulder, trying to think about your thigh and your belly moving toward each other. You might be feeling a stretch in your outer right hip. This is a great pose to stay in for a while. You'll just keep noticing more and more as you breathe, if you let yourself. Trying to let your shoulder blades slide down your back, crown of your head snaking its way up. And now I invited us to initiate this with work in the core. Now I'm going to ask you to release that work, but keep your arms where they are, and so your twist is a little less effortful. And it might feel nice, hopefully. So you've gotten yourself all the way around using the muscles, but now you're letting them relax a little bit. And then letting that go, coming around. Let's spin around, your hands coming over to your left side, to the floor. And we'll just keep going around. So now the right shin comes down, and you're on your left sole of your left foot, and we're going to do the twist on the other side. So arms reaching up overhead, twisting to the left now, and then reaching back, pulling your shoulder blade in, planting your left hand. So this is where the nice opening is able to be happening. And then your right hand, do whatever's good for your body. And breathe in here. Again, if your shoulders can relax down and your head snakes up, you can get a little stretching through your neck. Again, the more you invite your left thigh in, the more you'll feel a little stretch on the outer left hip. Keep your breath flowing in and out smoothly, noticing how things open up. one of these exhales, you might deepen the twist as much as you can using your muscles. And then a subsequent exhale, release the effort there. That's just a great thing to practice in any pose, releasing the effort, because then you can, when you're sitting at a computer or driving in a car, if you start to notice that you're kind of holding tension, you can just let a breath go, let the tension go. And then you won't feel the need to get to your mat quite as much if you're doing your yoga all day long. So now we're going to turn this into lizard pose. We're kind of doing that sequence backwards. So you're going to come around. You're going to be in lizard with your left foot in front. Take your hands to the inside of your left foot and then walk your right leg all the way back. Knee down on the floor. And then you'll either be up on your forearms or up on your hands or on your forearms on something. And again, letting your head relax down. Just being here, letting things happen. Head heavy, back knee heavy, hips heavy. When you want to come out of it, you'll notice sometime when you need to inhale, you'll rise up. And then you're going to plant your back heel down, and we're going to come to the bound side angle, or half bound side angle, if you took that. So your hand behind, pressing into your left leg with your left elbow, lifting your right shoulder in the opposite direction, breathing. And then you can take your arm forward for side angle. And then we're going to come up to that extended left leg, and with your elbow bent. So pressing into your left foot, toes reaching to the floor, your elbow reaching in the other direction, feeling the side, opening up. And then you can drop your right hand back and lift your fingers far away. Breathing there. And then we'll come down to the lunge here, a twist on the other side. And bring your hand down to the floor. So let's come to the front of the mat again. Lift up and then folding over as you empty out. Rising up, filling up. And once again, pausing with your hands at your heart. Letting your eyelids be heavy, shoulder blades heavy, feet pressing into the floor. And then from those pressing feet, your legs lift, pelvis lifts, spine stakes up, supporting your skull in between your grounding shoulders and elbows. So keep your hands where they are this time as you exhale, but just let your eyelids open. And we're going to just take a very gentle tree pose. So if for you that means that you're keeping one set of toes on the floor, then you'll do that. If you want to just keep your foot on your calf, that's great. If you want to go a little deeper, if it's appropriate for you in a gentle yoga practice, then you can take your leg up and over your knee. So you're going to, whatever you're going to do, take your gaze forward, staring at something out in front of you that's not moving, and then you find your place to be with your right foot on your left leg, and just be. Noticing your ability to be very present when you're trying to balance on one foot. If you do notice that the long hold in the stillness takes your mind elsewhere, just bring it back. Pay attention to how much your foot is moving. And just know that every little tiny movement that you feel in your standing leg is a message from your brain to make some adjustment to keep you from falling over. So we're paving the pathway from your brain all the way down to your foot, smoothing it over. So you can stay here as long as you are able to or want to. If you don't want to be the one who decides when to come out, I like to let my eyelids drop, and that usually invites a release from the pose very shortly after. So you can play with letting your eyelids drop down if it's a safe thing for you to do. And now I'm landed on 2 feet. So if you did not have your eyelids closed, you can let them close now when you're on your 2 feet. Again, if that's a safe way for you to be. And then eyelids open, shift to your right foot, finding the appropriate gentle yoga tree pose for you today. And see what the pose can do for you. Not only strengthening your leg and strengthening the pathway from your brain down to your foot, but strengthening the calming part of your nervous system as you just be here in stillness, letting your body do its thing, not demanding too much. You can play with letting your eyelids drop down again, see what happens. You'll notice that your leg wakes up a lot, your foot a lot more active, at least mine does. And again, I'm landing on 2 feet, keeping my eyelids closed for a moment, breathing in, feeling my chest rise into my thumbs pressing against my breastbone. And some exhalation, hands down, eyelids open. And we'll start again, arms overhead, folding forward. And take your right foot to the back of the mat, your left foot to the back of the mat. One more time, coming forward and lowering to the floor. Stack your palms out in front of you and rest your forehead. And allow yourself to roll a little bit to your right side so you can lift your left leg off the floor. And just extend your toes back, feeling your back body working on one side, and then letting your left side rest down. Roll a little to your left side, reaching your right foot back, lifting it off the floor if you can. Right hip coming off, maybe. And then letting that release down. And now both hips are going to stay on the floor because we're going to try to lift both legs. So extending your toes back, and then lifting, reaching your toes away from your head, breathing. On some exhale, letting that release down. And then if you want to keep this the more gentle, I would have you keep your forearms resting on the floor as you lift. If you want to have it be a little more challenging, you can take your arms out in front or out to the side or behind you, however you like. But we're going to do a full locust pose, either with your hands staying on the floor or lifting up. So I'll demonstrate the more low-key version. So you'll then extend your legs back, lift your legs off the floor, and then you can use your arms on the floor to help you lift your upper body a little bit. A couple breaths there, or here, however you're going to be. And then bring your hands back to the floor if they weren't there. If they were there, reverse the stack. So the other hand is on top, and rest again, letting everything be heavy. Now we're just going to do a simple balance pose. You're going to roll to your right side. Keep your right arm out, extended long. You can either rest your head on your bicep like this, or bend your elbow and rest your head on your hand. And then try to put your legs in line with your torso and see if you can keep yourself from tipping over. It's actually quite challenging. And depending on the width of your hip bone, it might be even more challenging. You'll notice if you bring your legs out in front, then it becomes quite easy. So you're trying to keep a straight line. And then, if you want to, you can go through locust pose to the other side. So rolling to the middle, coming through to the other side, or you can just get to the other side however you like. So you're up on your hand or down on your left bicep, and you're trying to balance without your hand on the floor. And you're in one straight line. See, over I go. So just another awareness to have. Very simple. Again, bringing your mind to the present in a very simple way. And then rolling back onto your belly, hands underneath your shoulders, and coming up and back to child's pose. Let's take this child's pose with your knees right next to each other and your hands back by your feet. Letting your head drop down. Shoulders separate away from each other. Breathing deeply in. Letting everything go. Sometime when you're breathing in, bring your arms out in front. And then the next inhale, bring your hips up high. I should have said in the beginning that hopefully you have some kind of block, because it's nice, we're going to do bridge pose as our final pose, and it's nice to be able to rest on something for that. If not, then you can just do the more active bridge pose. It's fine. But if you have a block, then have it nearby. And move any ponytail situation out of the way. And you're going to bring your heels in close, arms by your side, lifting up, creating a nice opening across the front, and either staying here for a few breaths and then coming down and maybe rising again a few times with your breath, again to keep it on the gentle side, or you can put the block at low height, just keeping it very low key, one notch up, or I kind of like to come up onto my toes and turn the block at its highest height, and then rest my sacrum on there, and then let my heels drop down. So you can choose whatever level of intensity is appropriate, again, for you for a gentle yoga practice. And you can let your eyelids close very safely here. Just breathing in, noticing what's opening up on your front in this nice passive position. And actually, if you don't have a block, you can try putting your thumb right next to your fingers, so your thumb does not go under your back, it goes right next to your fingers, and placing your hand underneath, and see if that works for you to prop yourself up. Again, that one's kind of a very high supported bridge pose, but it can be done without a block. So find a place where you can be relaxing. If you don't have the block, you can just be coming up and going down whenever you want. Keeping the intensity low. And then whatever you're doing, the next time you're exhaling, you can be lowering to the floor. You can move the block out of the way if you've done that. And then just put your feet back where they started. And we're going to just go back to that knees going side to side that we began. Using your breath to let things open. And then you're either going to just extend your legs out long right now in the final relaxation, or if you have something that can go under your legs, you put them under your legs, a cushion or a beanbag or a rolled up blanket. If you have something to cover you, then you can put that over you. And definitely, especially if it's bright out in your room, you want to have something covering your eyes. Or turn off the lights if that's a possibility. So, hopefully you feel that you've been gentle to yourself throughout this practice, and it might make it a little easier to just slide right into the relaxation, finding your calm breath pattern, feeling yourself light and open as you breathe in, and heavy and relaxed as you breathe out, sinking into whatever is underneath you. The breath in, your chest is expanding. The breath out, all of the muscles across your front are softening. Breath in, you notice the air coming in through your nostrils. The breath out, you notice all the muscles of your face relaxing. want to, you can even clench your fist. And on the breath out, relax your arms completely onto the floor. And maybe on the breath in, you scrunch up your feet a little bit. And as that breath empties out of you, your legs completely release onto whatever's supporting them. You can continue with that kind of theme of breathing in and out, giving your mind something to do. Or you might be ready to just let your mind be, let your body be, and just receive the benefits of this time. So as always, I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you can. But when you are ready to come out, you'll just extend yourself long, filling up with air. Roll to your side. Spend a little bit of time there, especially if you have stayed longer in your Shavasana. And then come to a tall spine as you breathe in. Again, if it's comfortable for you to do, you'll do that with your arms, your eyes closed. And then your legs and your arms can find a comfortable way to be. And we sit. A few quiet breaths, reaping the benefits of the time that you've devoted to yourself. It's going to enable you to be devoted to others in a much stronger way. So thank you for taking care of yourself. Namaste.